Welcome back. It's Tyler G, Joe B from the North down. How are we doing this afternoon, this Friday evening, Joe?
Man, oh man, Friday evening, the weekend is here.
It
Let's
is.
go, baby.
And rightfully so, you get the floor after that Bears shocking W last week. That everybody looking at their TV, whether you're watching it live, I don't know if it was on Fox or CBS or Red Zone, whoever they were watching it, but that catch by Loveland, that throw, really Loveland's coming out party. Break down the game, break down where the Bears are going because a lot of eyes are looking over at Ben Johnson and that Bears team.
100%. You got that right, Ty. And I think half the battles, I think like Ben Johnson said it perfectly the other day, is in the past, this Bears team, Bears in general in the past, would find ways to lose that game. They would find ways to lose. They would rack up consecutive losses. But for whatever reason, even after losing that onside kick and being up 2 possessions in the fourth, here they came back, and we actually have a quarterback that could lead the way, and he single-handedly helped win the game. He had a long run on that final drive, that long scramble, found Loveland through double coverage per se. You had two guys, you had a guy underneath, a guy behind right there. He threw it right in. He put it in the right spot, and then Loveland made the play. And for Loveland, a guy that hasn't really been a part of the game plan week to week so far in the last couple of weeks, he's been pretty solid. But hey, he's a wide receiver and the tight end body. Use him, game plan for the guy, and incredible win because as soon as that onside kick happened, myself as a Bears fan, I literally was standing up watching it, saw it hit off the back of Daniel Hardy's foot, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me, man. You've got to be kidding me. I knew they recovered it, and I knew they were going to march down because the Bears defense all game couldn't really stop them.
Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati's defense is just terrible. Even on that last play, like 2, 3, it might even been 4 missed tackles where not wrapping up. But credit to Loveland, credit to the Bears. I mean, finish the play, and it gets back to what a kind of a weird NFL season so far. It is, and it's up to anybody that could take the AFC or the NFC. It is so true. It is any given Sunday right now. I mean, kind of pivoting towards my Packers where they were, I think, 12.5, 13-point favorites going into that game last week against Carolina. And
home, Tyler.
In Lambeau.
At home, at Lambeau.
And
unreal.
I thought that was a lock. If I was in one of those leagues, that would have been the lock of my week because at Lambeau is so tough to win there. But Carolina played their game. They kept the Packers off the field. They ran the ball very effectively, and they held the Packers in check and played their game. And big loss for the Packers, my Packers, and Tucker Kraft. I mean, I don't know how they pivot from here, but that's a key to the run game for them. That was their leading receiver. So things, and again, it gets back to we lost Tucker, but just can't find the true identity to this Packers team week in and week out. Matt LaFleur, never coaching to win lately, always conservative and coaching not to lose. And it just has not worked well. But week 10, I think, no identity for the Packers. And of course, what's going to happen is I just have a feeling they lost to Carolina, and I think they got Philly coming into home Monday Night Football. I watched the Packers win that game, and again, we're scratching our heads saying, who the hell is this team? So
they just got done playing a great second half game against Pittsburgh. Against the Steelers that just came out and blew out, in my opinion. They single-handedly dominated against the Colts. Jonathan Taylor that was the first game this season that he's actually been shut down.
Yep.
Didn't even come close to touching 100 yards. And look, then the Packers come home, play against the Panthers, and they put up 13 points. But I think half the battles, we were texting on this on Sunday. I was watching my Bears, you were watching your Packers, but look at all of those. They had 8 drives inside the red zone, and you put up 13 points.
Yeah. It's play calling. It's sometimes I question, and I probably for a Packers fan, like, though I think Jordan Love has all the talent in the world, mentally, I just don't see him checking out of plays. Obviously we were spoiled with Rodgers, but I don't see him really reading the defense like Rodgers did and breaking down defenses. He's getting the play call from Matt LaFleur. He's running Matt LaFleur's system, and sometimes I just think Jordan Love just doesn't have that capability in his bag, and I think you need that as a quarterback. You need to read and check down, not switch protection or switch the play, but switch the entire play. And we had that with Rodgers because it would be a chess match with a lot of these defenses, and you don't get that. You don't get that luxury with Love. You're just not going to get it. And but I mean, looking at the Bears, but they've won 6 of the last 7, 5 of the last 7, whatever it is. They got the Giants, winnable game. Then they got Vikings, winnable game. And then you got the Steelers again back at home. I mean, you guys could go and end up. What are you guys, 5-2 right now?
So we're 5-3 right now.
5-3.
And if you take, let's say, if we win the next 2, you win Giants at home, Vikings away, and at that point, you split and go 1-1, Steelers, Eagles. You're 8-4 going into December.
Yeah.
You got a couple games against Packers, but other than that, you got the Browns, you got San Fran before you end the season with Detroit. You could snag 10. If you get 10 wins, that's potential playoffs right there, right?
And it gets back to my point. It's wide open. Wide open. You don't have a team out there in the NFC where you're like, oh boy, all right, well, if they're running away, they're the 1 seed, they're the team to beat. The Eagles have their flaws too right now, and we'll see. It's going to be interesting. It's an interesting year. It really is.
Next few weeks is going to determine a lot because you look, Packers 5-2-1, Bears 5-3, Lions 5-3. That's divisions up for grabs.
Yeah,
divisions up for grabs between those 3 teams, and it wouldn't surprise me if somehow the Bears ended up sneaking in and making a little stance. I still think, based on how Detroit's playing, Detroit is by far one of the best teams out there. They have a great coach, great scheme. They have injuries and they plug guys in and they do well. But man, you gotta look out for the Bears sneaking in, because realistically, I was talking to my father-in-law about this last night. Packers just haven't looked the best. Packers should have lost against the Cardinals. Cowboys, 1 second left to kick the game-tying field goal in overtime. There's another loss. Boom, there you go. There's 4-4 right there. And it's crazy.
It is. Besides those first 2 wins, it lost. Yeah, Cleveland could have lost. Maybe should have lost to the Cowboys. Honestly, that Bengals game too.
At
the end, the Packers were barely hanging on. I mean, we were a score and an onside kick. We were 1 possession away from losing that game. And you said, the Cardinals. And I mean, the Steelers won. We really had that controlled in the second half. But they lose to the Panthers, and again, you're just coming in. I remember the first 2 wins. They're like Packers are the team to beat. They got Parsons. They're watch out, Super Bowl or bust, this and that. And I'm thinking, still Super Bowl or bust as far as at least NFC Championship game. But again, you're scratching your head in this Packers team. We don't know who they are, but man, you know who your Bears are though. Caleb Williams is finding his stride, and they got a hell of a running game over there too in Chicago. And
Monongai.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Monongai, Tyler?
I had him on my fantasy team going into week 3 and I dropped him. So that's haunting me to this day. But I mean, yeah. I mean, even with Swift coming back too, got 2 great running backs and Loveland. And I mean, they're not even giving Rome involved yet too. They're going to get him back involved. And I mean, with Ben Johnson, I mean, like I said, you got to have a lot of exciting stuff to look forward to the rest of the season here. So
100%. It's, hey, 1 week at a time. We'll be talking, discussing, obviously, football as time goes on the rest of the year. But, man, it's for this weekend for Bears against Giants at home. I'll be going there on Sunday, repping 30-mile-per-hour winds with potential snow, 2 to 3 inches. And I think that kind of stems into this part of the conversation here. One of the last topics while we're talking on this podcast for this week is the kicking game for both the Bears and the Packers. I feel like we're both in a similar situation. You got the Bears have had Santos for all this time. They've had Santos. They've been grinding out, right? And then all of a sudden he got hurt. Leg injury, right? Fairly kind of same new Packers kicker, right?
Yep. You got McManus, who had that quad injury, missing field goals now. And we got that substitute teacher. Lucas Harvisic, I think you pronounce it. But he didn't miss a field goal when he was out there. And the Packers have actually hung on to him. But kicking game's important, especially in the Midwest here. Come December and January when it's 20 degrees out, and a lot of those games are going to be close, especially in the playoffs, especially if you have a home game there. But that'll be interesting.
What do you do?
I don't know.
Is this a point of time where you get rid of McManus and Santos and you go Moody and the substitute teacher? In my opinion, you might as well do it.
I don't think you get rid of him. You maybe, you sit him and you go, hey, you seems like you still got the injury bothering you. We're gonna move the younger guy in and see what he can do, because McManus has kicked some big time field goals and he's been there. And experience is key when you're kicking. So I don't know. I say you sit McManus and you let this other guy come in and kick some field goals and see what happens. But I don't know. What about your end?
I definitely think, as a Bears fan, Bears should put Santos on the bench, either put him on the bench or cut him, and they should bring in Moody. Moody had a rough stretch at the end of his career with the Niners, but we're at a point in time where Santos can't kick far. This man could barely touch 50 yards, and every time he approaches right around that mark last week, he missed 2 47-yard field goals.
Yeah.
He missed the one deep in the game, and then he missed the one that ended up turning into an offsides call on the defense. 4th and 1, Bears went for it, got it, which led to a touchdown. But outside of that, you're an NFL kicker. Kickers nowadays have to kick and consistently hit 50, 55, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. You got Cam Little smacking a 68-yarder for the Jaguars. So you got guys like that, yet you have Santos that can't kick and can't hit a 47-yard field goal consistently. I would rather have a guy miss once in a blue moon and be able to hammer it out like Moody and smack 55s, 56, 60s than Santos that can hit the end zone on a kickoff, and he can't kick a field goal that's deep, period. So,
well, before we done this, it's mid-season pretty much, a little after. Real quick, rapid fire. Give me your pick for Super Bowl matchup this year, and we'll revisit this at the end of the season. Unless you want me to go first, because I got my picks.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, out of the NFC, I think I'm picking and going with the Detroit Lions coming out of the NFC this year.
Wow.
And then, gosh, I really want to pick a certain team here, but I think I'm going to be safe. And I am going to pick the Buffalo Bills out of the AFC East. Buffalo against Dan Campbell and the Lions. That is your Super Bowl matchup this year, as of right now.
Great, solid pick. I was thinking the Buffalo Bills as well. I think this year is the Josh Allen year. I don't think Kansas City's going to go back. Kansas City really hasn't looked the best, and they've won when it matters. But I think this is one of those years. Kind of reminds me of that 2010s era where here you had guys like Brady and Manning running the show, and then you would have that one year you had Flacco slip in there and kind of win some games. You had Eli Manning those few years slipping in. This is where I personally see Josh Allen is finally going to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs. So I think that's a strong pick there. But personally, I don't think Lions are going to go deep.
Okay.
I don't think Lions are going to go deep. I would say, to throw in devil's advocate and throw it around, I see the Bears going deeper than the Lions this year. Bears are going to get hot at the right time. They're going to go
biased pick there, but okay.
Very bold pick. Bears are going to go deep, but they're going to fall just short of the Super Bowl. And I see them losing to a team. I could see a little sleeper team here. I could see either like the Buccaneers or the Rams somehow squeezing their way in to the Super Bowl.
Fair enough. I honestly forgot the Rams. So I like that pick with the Rams. I thought you were going to say Philly, and I was like, please don't say Philly. Please. No one wants Philly in the Super Bowl. So.
No, not at all. No Philly, no Philadelphia fans. Leave Philly aside. But I see the Rams kind of being that sleeper team. They're going to come alive. Puka could eventually make his way back out there, right, and be a stronger force. But you got Stafford experience. I could see that Stafford feel, or maybe even Baker turning it up a notch. But at the end of the day, too, it all depends on where the seeding goes going into playoffs, because playing at a cold city like Chicago or Green Bay deep, it's going to be tough for some of those warmer teams to really recover unless they have a strong record and they get home field advantage, period. So it's halfway through. It's early. Lions are a strong pick. Bills are a solid pick, obviously. But some kind of twists in there is I think it really come that second week of December. Personally, figuring this is a good Bears-Packers conversation today, I would say after that first Bears-Packers game on December 7th, that's where I'll have a lot stronger of a vision of who I think is going to make it all the way, who's going to be in place. And they'll have a couple division games in the mix between now and then for all of NFC North. Let's see what shakes up. Let's see who comes out. And at that point, let the games begin in December, baby.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be back next week, depending. Big week in the NFL. I might have a pretty bold statement come next week that might shock the entire world. But
before we end off on it, you want to hear the fun fact of the day?
Well, yeah, you were waiting for this, and you told me this.
Waiting all for it.
Oh boy! Drum roll. Here we go.
Drum roll, baby. Caleb Williams has more receiving touchdowns on the year than the first-round pick Matthew Golden.
That is wild. That is wild stats.
Unreal. Bear down, baby. Bear down. Shine this chain. Let's get it, boys. Let's go.
All right. Have a good night.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.